All right, so real quick, you guys, I'm going to talk about this Losi hammer ray rear end, this rear differential, and just the rear end, the rear axle in general. So they never should have put this out like that. Don't get me wrong, this is one of my favorite RCs, but there's issues with this. First issue is this piece right here is plastic. It needs to be aluminum. See how I replaced it? That's the new axle. And I'm not just doing this for looks. This is something that's really mandatory. See, so that's that part. That needs to be aluminum. So what happens is this screw is really only about this long when it needs to be about that long. These screws here are sunken all the way down to about there. So what happens is this is plastic, right? So eventually these screws start to get loose, strip, whatever, right? So as they start to get loose, they start to eat up this side of the differential housing. You know, they start to eat up, they start to stick out right there. And as it's spinning, it starts to eat up all this right here to the point where it put a hole in it. It must have been this piece. See this piece? So for a second, I really couldn't figure out what happened until I really started looking at all the issues inside of here, because I really didn't see the screws, and this piece was just spinning. That and that would just spin together, and I'm like, that doesn't really make sense. And then I realized it was supposed to that there was 4 screws missing. So yeah, that's the main thing. And then there's another thing with this, right? Dirt gets in here because it can flex. It can flex right there, so dirt and other stuff can get all up in here. This in general needed to be aluminum from day one. Losi never really should have put this on this car, man. It's too powerful. No matter what, you're gonna have problems with this rear end. And it's not this, it's not the gears and all that. These are all the old ones from in there, but really I could have reused these. The real issue was this piece getting stripped, losing the screws, eating this part up, eating all that up, eating all this up. Until it down there put see all that? That's not supposed to be like that. So yeah, that's the issue, man. But that's the new setup right there. Do you need that? Yeah, you do. It's not a preference. I'm just letting y'all know it's not a preference, man.